I was born in the dark. You merely adopted the darkness. Where can I get some market fresh strawberries? Cause I'm Bane, that's my name. Say it too much and it becomes a name.
Welcome to the FanCast Podcast, Trade Deadline Edition, aka the Cleveland Fire Sale. This is Christmas to me. I love the trade deadline every year, especially if you're a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, which I am. We're not going to only be talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers, though. We're going to be talking about all the trades. With me today, as always, we got Cody.
What's up, guys?
We got Mario.
What's up, everybody? Mario's here. Excited to talk about the trade deadline.
Deadline. We got Bryant.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy. What up?
It's your boy.
Cash Money. What up?
And then behind the scenes, Rezo, of course.
Hey, what's up?
All right, cool. Now that we got that dumb stuff out the way, let's talk about these flipping trades. First and foremost, let us talk about the one that started it all. Blake Griffin goes to Detroit.
My boy.
Detroit got Blake Griffin, Willie Reed, Bryce Johnson, and the Los Angeles Clippers got Avery Bradley, Tobias Harris, Boban. I can never say his last name, so you'll have to forgive me. Marjanovic. Love it. Detroit's 2018 first round pick and their second round pick as well. Who won this trade?
Detroit. Absolutely Detroit. They dumped off Avery Bradley.
What? Nonsense.
They dumped off Avery Bradley.
Why would you? He's not somebody you dump.
He absolutely is. He has underperformed this season.
He's a top defender.
Let the man speak.
They moved Tobias Harris, who realistically is good, definitely has a bright future in this league, but is definitely under Blake Griffin. Boban Marjanovic, who the hell knows this guy? Not me.
He's probably
not me, and I follow
he
basketball.
sounds like a shooter.
He's definitely European, so he definitely shoots the basketball. He's probably
Stojakovic.
8.5 feet tall. And they give up a first round and a second round pick, but I think that's definitely worth Blake Griffin, Willie Reed, and Bryce Johnson. I mean, Detroit has a lot of young talent, has a lot of good talent, and I think this only helps them in every facet. Absolutely.
So Detroit,
Boban Marjanovic averages under 6 points a game. He's 7'3", 290.
Boom!
And is a
I told
center.
you he was like 8.5 feet tall.
You're telling me this man's a shooter?
He's a center
He's
who can
European.
shoot. I bet you
He's-
anything he can shoot.
he's-
European guys, they always know how to shoot.
What's
He
his,
averages under 6 points a game.
yeah, but
It's
what
like
are his
that's
percentages?
The
What's his,
trade was done for Blake and to clear up the reason I think that this deal was done was a straight numbers. They owe Blake over $100 million, or the Clippers owed Blake over $100 billion. They're paying him $30 million plus a year. They want to get out from underneath that contract. Remember, they were also trying to dump DeAndre's contract as well. They want picks, they want young people, right? That contract, if it was somebody like CP3, Paul George, someone along those lines, you take it. And it's easier to get that dumped off, but they were having issues because Blake is hurt so often. Think about it. You're paying somebody over $100 million and you don't know if they're going to be on the floor when you really need them. Think of the past, 3 or 4 playoff runs that the Clippers have gone on. How many of those were mired by injury in some way, shape, or form on the part of Blake Griffin? Not saying that this man gets injured on purpose, but we know that there's certain players that are injury prone. So essentially, you're taking on the Detroit Pistons take on, a huge contract, and there's great upside if they get that in Drummond to work. That is beastly in the East. Does it make you a contender? No. Does it guarantee you a playoff berth next year? Maybe this. I really don't know about this year, but definitely next year they're a playoff team. But
Maybe.
no, they're those two alone. And remember, there's Reggie Jackson isn't back yet. So the big three out there, right, is Reggie Jackson, Drummond, and Blake Griffin. That's a solid big three. It is.
So let me tell you, the Clippers won this trade, and let me tell you why. Because so on the surface, right, you see Blake Griffin, and you think Detroit, they got the guy. He has battled a myriad of injuries over the past few years. He's had problems in the locker room, all right, and he's got a massive contract, which is a huge liability. The Clippers couldn't wait to get rid of him, okay? And I don't doubt that anything changes with that. I don't doubt that he probably doesn't stay healthy. He probably also will continue to have some locker room issues. The Clippers got a great defender in Avery Bradley, had a down year, but I think it's more the system. Tobias Harris, who, like Bryant said, has a great future in this league. They got a first-round pick next year and a second-round pick. The Clippers are looking towards the future, and that's why they won this trade.
They're rebuilding. The Clippers are just rebuilding. I don't know. I don't think that means they won. The Detroit is more in a win now mode. You can't look at their roster post trade and tell me that they're not more. They're not maybe one or two more moves, not high profile, but maybe mid-level or two low key moves away from battling for that that fourth or fifth seed in the East, I think. And then from there,
I don't think they go far in the East. I think they're the team that makes the playoffs, and they're out in the first round.
See, there's a thing that y'all are ignoring right now, and that is the fact that Blake Griffin played for the Los Angeles Clippers, okay? A team that is cursed, okay? There are a lot of players that have been traded to the Clippers, been riddled with injuries, and come out to be Hall of Fame players once they left that team. One notable is Mr. Celtic legend himself, Bill Walton. Okay.
Throwback.
Wow, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Throwback.
He went to Los Angeles, had a ton of foot problems. In 5 years, he played like 30 games or something like that. Gets traded to Boston for pennies and ends up being dominant. Okay. I don't know. It's just
I think Clippers won this trade. They could have lost Blake Griffin and Chris Paul for nothing over this summer. Instead, they got an entire team's worth of players and picks. And the biggest thing that I think is messed up about this situation is you had Blake Griffin, Chris Paul begging DeAndre Jordan to come back. Guess what, DeAndre? You're the only one there now. Okay? What happened to loyalty?
Blake got traded.
Blake was under contract. He wasn't going to leave next year. You know that, right? Like, he's under contract.
Yeah, he signed a 5-year extension.
They didn't want him. He wanted them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Out here.
Mario's face is priceless.
Like, oh, man.
A closing comment is the biggest thing about this trade is that the Detroit equipment manager is on suicide watch.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, moving on to our next trade. We got Nikola Mirotic and a second-round pick going to the Pelicans for Omer Asik, Tony Allen, Jameer Nelson, a first-round pick, and a myriad of picks. Honestly, they got like 4 picks in this.
What picks?
Oh my god!
First-round pick, and
they got a first
in 2021. They're swapping a second-round pick.
Yeah.
That wasn't that bad.
Look, it was like the way it's worded here, it was just like a whole lot. I was like, honestly, they got to pick. Doesn't matter. What we really care about are the players that were exchanged. Personally, I thought that this was a great deal for each team.
I disagree.
Who won it? Who won the trade?
I don't think that I think that there are certain trades that it's not about winning. I think that there's certain situations where each person benefit, like the trade helped them achieve their individual goals. Because that is like, people talk about trades like, oh, whoever got the best player, whoever did this. It's like, no, it really depends on what you're going for. If you're a team that's
going for,
what is
each team going for?
In my opinion, the Bulls are in a culture rebuild and want to get a good mix of young talent and veterans. If you look at that team right now, they have a lot of young, great talent.
They sure got a veteran in Tony Allen, that's for sure. Dude's like 109.
But he can play defense.
But he can play defense, and he's a professional. Which you didn't get headaches. You got good locker room vets to help stabilize your team going 2 years down, 2 or 3 years down the line. You're not making this deal because you think it's going to add 10 more wins to your season. You're making this deal because you think it's going to help your rookies develop at develop 10 games faster or something along those lines, right? On top of that, you were able to secure picks. Now, if you're a young team building culture, what else do you need to keep things going? Is picks to keep fueling the engine and also to make the moves that you need 2 or 3 years down the line when things 2 or 3 years down the line when things start to materialize, right? On the part of New Orleans, they're in a more win now type of mode, right? They have when healthy, that needs to be said. They have AD. They have oh my god, he just got hurt. Boogie. They got Boogie. They got now they got Mirotic, somebody who can come in and get them buckets. They need to take the pressure off those two people. I think one of the things that they came across this season was our guys are great, but overusing a big man is the quickest way to an injury. Even if they're not banging around, the act of just playing them minutes or the ball being in their hands and them having to make plays, the less of those instances you can have, the better. And Mirotic, I think, shores up their. If I think you could start him, but at the very least, he gives you a definitive role person, and as well, you pick up a pick as well. So I think that each team got what they wanted out of this deal. I don't think anybody necessarily lost this deal.
No, I honestly think that New Orleans probably lost this trade because New Orleans would not have made this move if Boogie was healthy. This move was purely made on the fact that DeMarcus Cousins was hurt. I think that when DeMarcus Cousins comes back, it wouldn't surprise me if they move either Mirotic or Boogie.
But why would they weren't going to go deep into the West? Why would you make this move? They gave up a lot.
Maybe they think they can go deep. You know,
they're idiots. They're in the West. It's what? I
mean, you can say that as an outside perspective, but if you're in that front office, you know, you don't know what they're saying.
All right, let me ask you a personal question. Okay, even if they were healthy, do they beat the Warriors in 7 games?
No, I don't think they do.
So, and I feel like nobody else in the league.
I'm not a Pelicans owner. I'm not a Pelicans staff member. You know what I mean? I'm not in that front office.
They could have a secret weapon we don't know about.
I'm not here to make that decision. The point is Chicago comes out with a first-round pick, a swapped second-round pick, which is going to be pretty negligible anyway. And they're getting, in my opinion, the only real important thing here is Omar Sheik. But it wouldn't surprise me if they move him anyway. I think they really just dump him. I think they really just did it for the picks. And they move Jameer Nelson and get another pick from Detroit. So it's got to be Chicago. This team is moving in the right direction. Ownership is finally getting their heads out of their tuchuses Thank you. To get this team going. I think they're really going to hit the ground running and really try to get past this whole Derrick Rose era.
So I feel like personally, New Orleans, I know we talked about it, could trade one of their 2 bigs when they're healthy. And I don't think it's Boogie. I think they would trade Davis.
Ooh.
And I say that because, you know, obviously Boogie's more of a center, I think, than Anthony Davis is. And Anthony Davis has been rumored in trades. Now, obviously nothing concrete, and they've said as a front office, we're not going to move him. But now they have Mirotic. Now they have another big who can shoot. You get more for Davis than you would for Mirotic. So you move Davis, and then maybe you can get those pieces to become a real contender in the West. So I think maybe next year or in the offseason, we could see a trade, big one from New Orleans.
I feel like Davis is the better of the 2. I would have kept Davis over
especially with Boogie coming off of an Achilles injury. I think if they move anybody, it would probably be DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah.
That being said, you'll get more for Davis.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you'll get more.
Yeah, but it's
Davis,
you don't want to weaken your team that
when Boogie is.
I guess it's what people want. Are they both on massive deals, or are they making like 30 plus a year? Or
I don't know
or is there one of them on a team friendly deal?
I think Davis is still on a young deal. Yeah, I don't think he's signed.
Yeah.
Davis is definitely still on a young deal, and I think Boogie is on one of his Sacramento deals still. So it's probably not like it's not NBA money now.
Okay.
Yeah, New Orleans
you know what?
has some money to spend.
Let's stay on this vein because there was another part to this trade that Cody touched on briefly, and that was so after the Bulls got Jameer Nelson, they went ahead and traded him away with their 2022 second round pick to pick up Willie Reed and Detroit's 2022 second round pick. What are your thoughts on that?
And it's literally it's all for the picks. They think that Detroit's pick is going to be more valuable way down the line than their pick will be.
2022 is a long time from now.
Yeah,
It's 4 years from now. Teams look farther ahead.
Yeah, like that's
look in the next year or two. Teams are looking 2022, 2023. Like they're looking.
that's the point I'm trying to
You have
make.
draft classes projected out for years.
For sure. Yeah.
Chicago's looking at that point is I'm assuming that that's when they think they're going to be ready to be competing for a title.
Contenders.
Yeah.
I still feel like a lot of people, not just in the West, but in general, are just waiting for, or in the East, I should say, are just waiting for LBJ to retire. Like people are like banking on like the early 2020s to like make that big push. One of the things I always said about the Celtics and their deal is I feel like they peaked maybe a year or two too soon. We'll see. I think it's along the same lines. Speaking of Cleveland, we're going to be getting to our first Cleveland trade because we're going to break it up into pieces for you guys. The first one that broke was, of course, Isaiah Thomas, Channing Frye, Cleveland's 2018 first-round pick. Now, we have to say that this is not Brooklyn's first-round pick. It's Cleveland, so it would have been worse than Brooklyn's anyway.
Right.
And they traded them away to the Lakers. They end up picking up Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr. I'm going to let everybody else go because you already know how I feel.
I think I really don't know what Los Angeles was thinking.
I can tell you if you want to know.
Because like Larry Nance Jr. has shown a lot of potential. Dude was in borderline tears when he found out that he got traded to Cleveland. Just pumped.
Really?
He was really happy.
Oh, he was happy.
Yeah, he was thrilled that he got traded. And then we got Jordan Clarkson, who is definitely having an up year. I don't know how fantastic he is, but he's definitely playing above his previous years. You're getting Isaiah Thomas, who is just chucking at this point this year. Channing Frye, who again is 107 years old, and the first round pick, I guess, is your saving grace here, but it's not really like a premier top 10 pick that you're getting.
Bryant, there's levels to this. You're looking at it on straight a surface level. You gotta dig deeper, my boy.
Oh, what are we talking? Talking a little LeBron collusion?
No, we're not talking. All right, think about this, right? What was the goal of the Lakers, right? Overall, they needed to clear cap space because before this deal, they couldn't sign two big marquee free agents, right? With this
Jordan
deal,
Clarkson and Larry Nance really that expensive?
Yeah, Jordan's making 12 or is making 12. Larry's making 8. So you take off 20 million off your books going forward, right? You pick up 6 million from Isaiah, but you're dumping him at the end of the season. The only reason you keep him is because Zoe's hurt right now, and you actually need a point guard. But as soon as Zoe comes back, he's gone, and maybe later on we can talk about where we think he'll land up. But I don't know if he'll land anywhere actually. But
he won't land anywhere if he's demanding max money. He needs to deal with the fact that he needs
max money and a starter. If he wants to be a starter and he wants max money, he's not landing anywhere. But
I think he could be a starter, but he won't get max money. But
where do you start him?
He's good enough in the right system. We don't have to get into that right now. In the right system to be a starter. He proved in Boston that he can take a team and put it on his back. In Cleveland, he wasn't that guy, and he knew it. And he had issues with LeBron. LeBron was that guy in Cleveland. And so Isaiah tried to take it, and that's why they had a lot of issues. So I think if Isaiah's in the right system, and I think the Lakers are better for him. I'm not saying they're great because, but Lonzo's hurt. So Isaiah's going to be the guy there temporarily.
He's definitely
until at the end of the season they'll dump him.
He's gonna be there until Zoe comes back. But anyway, so they clear the cap space so they can get their players, and they get a draft pick. So the Lakers want money to get free agents and picks to keep improving their team for the next 3 to 5 years. What do the Cleveland Cavaliers want? They want to get rid of the drama in the locker room and get younger and more athletic at the wing position. Mario, you've talked to me at length about how old the Cleveland Cavaliers are. You can't tell me that this isn't a good move getting this young.
No, I mean, with everything between the locker room chemistry issues, you just want to do a quick clean house. It's tough because Isaiah Thomas is bad for the locker room. Channing Frye is amazing for the locker room. But honestly, the negative that Isaiah Thomas keeps whining that people don't like him because he's short and he can't play defense. People don't like you because you're a dick, Isaiah Thomas. Like, I'll be the one to say it. Like, you're just not. People don't like playing with you. So I think that alone is just good for Cleveland. Now you get two, like you said, athletic wings. LeBron loves it. Like, LeBron made this move, so like it's a great move.
The GM LeBron James. I feel like this trade definitely good for the Lakers. Because like Nathaniel said, they're looking at the future. Isaiah is just a temporary fix for them, and they're clearing up room for 2 max contracts in 2018 and 2019. And I think that those 2 contracts, a lot of people are speculating who they're going to go to. Paul George being one really big ad that they could be.
LeBron will follow.
LeBron could go to LA and be the other ones once he leaves Cleveland. If
LeBron doesn't go to the West.
LeBron.
This man's putting up the bitch please hand. Like, I don't want to hear that. LeBron is not going to the West. Oh my god. All right, let's keep.
LeBron will go where he can win, and he can win in LA.
He can win anywhere.
He can win anywhere.
I would debate that, but
he can win anywhere.
Let's talk about the next trade on our list. It looks like it's another Cleveland trade. So the Cleveland receives Rodney Hood, George Hill, and the rights to a European player.
Arturas Guditatis.
Beautiful name. The Sacramento Kings end up receiving Joe Johnson, Iman Shumpert, one of Miami's picks, a 2nd-round draft pick from, I think, Cleveland, and the rights to another European.
Dimitrios Argavanis.
Oh my God.
Sacramento received Miami's 2020 2nd-round pick.
Yo, and that cash. Don't forget about that cash.
And that cash.
And then Utah receives Jay Crowder, Derrick Rose, and then in 2024, Cleveland and Utah swap 2nd round.
Out of all the Cleveland trades, this is the one that I like for Cleveland the most. They're getting Rodney Hood and George Hill. George is literally LeBron's wet dream of point guards.
Really? Is he the playmaker they were searching for?
No, they don't need
they
a
were
playmaker. They don't need a playmaker. They need a guy who comes in, can play really good defense, is big, strong, can play 2 positions, and can shoot the ball. That's George Hill. Rodney Hood, pretty athletic shooting guard, definitely solid player. But George Hill is definitely who they were trying to get. Sacramento, I don't know what's going on in Sacramento, man. Why do you want Iman Shumpert? Why do you want Joe Johnson? You already have Vince Carter, who's super old.
Yeah. Oh, you have Vince Carter, the dinosaur. Like, you cut Joe Johnson.
Yeah, you're looking to create the oldest team in the league, guys. Clearly.
Last but not least, Utah getting Jay Crowder, Derrick Rose, and then a Cleveland Utah swap, 2nd-round pick swap. Jay Crowder, I mean, he played defense. What does he do? He used to shoot threes.
He's struggling.
So this is a good deal for Utah, I actually think. So they received Jay Crowder, who does play great interior defense. He can shoot, but he's mostly big, provides you a little bit of post offense. Derrick Rose, obviously, he's not going to stay there. But they felt good giving up Rodney Hood because of the evolution of Donovan Mitchell. That's why they felt comfortable getting rid of Rodney Hood. So I think that was a good move to get something at a position of need and get rid of someone who you're not going to utilize. Cleveland also wins because Rodney Hood will be great in Cleveland. They love shooters. Aka J.R. Smith. He's going to be the new J.R. Smith, but better. George Hill, who, like Brian said, great not really a playmaker, more of, he dishes it, he plays defense. He's going to give it to LeBron every play. He'll probably finish the game with like 15 assists. Sacramento, I mean, hard to see where they were thinking. I want to say the future. Joe Johnson's going to be bought out. Realistically, he's going to go to a contender, probably Boston or Golden State. So yeah, Sacramento is definitely the loser of this trade for sure.
I don't know if they're the loser of this trade.
Yes, they are.
I don't know if they're the loser of this trade.
When you get a Mon Shumpert in a deal, you're the loser.
I don't like this. This is what I will say. One quick thing about Derrick Rose: he is being looked at by the Timberwolves.
I hope he goes. Well,
I mean, I
I
want him to have a job. I like Derrick Rose being in the league. Like whatever I think about the man personally, or his game or whatever, I think the NBA is better when he is in the league and he is giving something to this league. I really
do it, Tibbs. Come on, pull the trigger, Tibbs. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, if only. But yet again, this deal only solidifies Cleveland's vision for the future. They're saying, hey, LeBron, we don't know if you're leaving. We don't know if you're staying, but you have been talking at length. You think we're too old. You think we're not athletic enough. We need shooters. We need people to know their roles. We just cleaned out our locker room. We kept our picks. We got you players. Everything you want, LeBron, is right here. This is Dan Gilbert saying the ball's in your court to LeBron James.
They didn't keep their pick. They got rid of their first round pick for next year.
Yo, if you listened to when we were breaking down the trade, they traded their pick but still held on to Brooklyn's pick, which is a better first round pick.
It's a protected pick.
So they dropped a lower round.
We still lose a first round pick. Don't act like that's nothing.
There's degrees to. You'd rather have, if you're gonna have to give up a pick. You're gonna have to give up a first round pick to get players. Everybody and their best friend's mom were talking about how they would have to do this while giving up the Brooklyn pick. No, there was no reporting that had any other pick being talked about than Brooklyn's pick, which was the better of the two picks.
It's definitely, LeBron definitely gains a tremendous amount of responsibility if the team doesn't succeed now at this point, because that's what Dan Gilbert really succeeded in doing, was taking all the blame off his shoulders. He's like, look at everything that I did, and if we lose, y'all's fault, not mine.
And remember, a lot of people aren't talking about this, but they picked up $30 million or so in salary when you include the luxury tax and all that. So it's definitely a trade, and I can't wait to see how each of these teams get affected, because I actually love Utah. Donovan Mitchell is my rookie of the year. Doesn't get enough love in my opinion, but whatever.
I'm just hoping that Ty Lue
this
loses his job. Like when they figure out, okay, he can't coach these guys either, we got to get rid of him, because I think that was the real problem to begin with.
They'll never get rid of him. His job isn't to coach the team.
It's to manage LeBron.
It should be.
His job is because LeBron can't be a player coach. That's
Make
why
LeBron the first player coach and just get rid of Ty Lue. Because
the league doesn't allow player coaches.
Are you sure?
Yes. Otherwise, they wouldn't have Ty Lue.
Because that's what
I think that's a poor argument to be like, that's why. I don't know.
I think that's a whole nother can of worms that we don't have the time to get into right now. We got to finish off with these trades. We still got a few great ones to go. A couple hilarious ones, like Dwayne Wade is going back to Miami. The Cleveland Cavaliers sent him back there for a Miami second round pick that's protected. That's a heavily protected second round pick. But essentially, there was a story that broke that the Cavaliers basically came to LeBron and D Wade, because apparently LeBron was told about this one, because you can't trade D Wade and not let LeBron know. And they were saying, hey, we're going to be faster. We're going to go for a faster, younger approach. So you're not going to be playing very much. You can stick around, you might win the chip, or you can go chill in Miami. And they chose Miami. And I love it.
Back where it all started, man. That good for him. Good for him. I think that's good on Cleveland for handling that the right way. Dwayne Wade's like, hey, I want to go back to Miami. I think that's fair, because they weren't going to get much else for him. A protected second round pick is pretty good. because you're not going to get much more for an aging player who struggled with injuries, who's probably in his final, I want to say 2-3 years of playing.
Yes, and you don't want. I didn't want Dwayne Wade to be one of those players who had to sign that one day with their franchise, to get back. I mean, to retire as a Miami Heat.
Right. Yeah, that prevented that, which is awesome.
So in terms of that, I loved this deal.
Here's a fun fact. An hour after they started selling D-Wade jerseys again, the Miami Heat NBA stores sales were up 8,000% with Dwayne Wade sales.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like
Who
they
doesn't own a Dwayne Wade jersey yet? If you're a Heat
right?
fan,
Well, they all burned him probably when he left. So
I have a Dwayne
oh,
Wade jersey. I got it when he was first with Miami.
Is it an L Heat Dwayne Wade jersey?
Yeah,
I love
I
Heat.
have a Miami Heat Dwayne Wade jersey.
No, an L Heat.
Oh, L Heat? No, it's not an L
Latin
Heat.
Knights.
The Latin Knights.
why are you hating on Latin Knights?
Nobody's hating on Latin Knights. We're just saying how awesome it was. Why are you so sensitive? Moving on.
I heard your tone.
Moving on. All right. So Nuggets are sent away Emmanuel Mudiay and Portland's second round pick to the New York Knicks. Denver got Devin Harris and the Lakers second round pick. Oh, sorry, Clippers. Los Angeles Clippers second round pick. Dallas gets Doug McDermott and Denver's future second round pick. How do you think? What do you think about this deal?
I think that the Knicks made out on this deal pretty well. Mudiay is a good young point guard who will go to New York and just immediately probably jump in that starting role because they've been going between Frank Ntilikina and Jarrett Jack. And they both had like some stretches of being okay. I think Mudiay is like that solid. We're going to put him in here. He can take the reins and move on with that job. And he'll be great when Porzingis comes back next year. And plus, they got a second round pick out of it. So I think of the three teams, I mean, Devin Harris, he's a pretty good young player too. But I think Mudiay is the real big name here, which is why the Knicks made out the best.
Mudiay is definitely one of those players that, in my opinion, is good, but he hasn't shown consistency to be a definitive role player or starter. There are times
he hasn't had the chance yet. He hasn't had the chance.
He had the chance like for the past 2 years with the Nuggets, and he didn't produce.
I don't think they fully gave him the chance. I mean, they have Gary Harris, Jamal Murray there now. They were just playing with him. I think you got to give this man the job and let him run with it, which is what New York will probably do. I think he's got more potential than he's shown. I think he'll get there.
He'll get there. I mean, I hope he gets there. Doug McDermott. I don't know. I don't know about Doug McDermott.
He's a wannabe Kyle Korver. He's just like not there. You know what I mean?
I don't. Tell me more about why he's a wannabe Kyle Korver.
Well, he's a discount Kyle Korver. He's a similar size and build as Kyle Korver, but he doesn't necessarily have the same ability, I guess.
Kyle Korver light, if you will.
Right.
And he's a little bigger. I think he's a forward, but yeah.
I mean, he's still very young. What is this, like his third or fourth year in the league?
Yeah, I just don't see him having too much of an impact. I don't see many people in this trade honestly having too much of an impact.
You think this was more of like a lateral move?
Yeah, literally across the board. It's just, everybody got a player. Some people got a draft pick.
Everybody but the Knicks got a draft pick.
It's all gonna be.
The Knicks did get a draft pick. They got a second round pick.
None of these people are really even playoff contenders. It's just, it's stuff that happened.
Oh my gosh. All right. Next up is Elfrid Payton getting traded to the Phoenix Suns and Orlando picking up Memphis's second round pick. I was very surprised that when this news broke, I didn't think they would move Elfrid, and I didn't think that the Memphis's second round pick was. I think he's worth more than Memphis's second round pick at the very.
He's so
least.
young. He's 23, and he's shown improvement every year. I don't
Second
understand
round
what.
pick,
Yeah, what is Orlando doing? You guys are finally starting to have success. You're finally doing well, and then you trade your point guard, who's probably one of your most veteran presences on the team at 23. I don't know. I didn't. And he goes to Phoenix. Phoenix kind of sucks.
Phoenix
I
is
don't
where guards go to
Phoenix sucks. Oh my
Right.
god, Phoenix is horrendous.
It's
Phoenix
exactly that's exactly the right answer. That is where guards go to die, unless you're Steve Nash.
But even then, they
Devin
had somebody to
Booker
pair with them.
has thrived there. Devin Booker's thrived.
For now,
Yeah.
like that's what Phoenix is known for, just having guards upon guards upon guards. And then 4 years later, when you're playing like 3 point guards at once and not winning, being like, hey guys, why isn't this working? These guys are all individually great. We should be winning by 30.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, I
2K
like
strategy.
for the Suns. I think that, Elfrid Payton, they need someone to run that point that's better than Bledsoe. That's Elfrid Payton. Him and Devin Booker, see what they can do in that backcourt. But, I mean, they didn't give up anything for him, really, so it's, not a loss. Worst comes to worst is you don't keep them.
I guess so.
Or you could flip them, but...
So, question to all the guys here. After we went through all these picks, who had the best trade? Which trade do you love the most?
I like the. It's got to be.
Dwayne Wade goes home.
No, absolutely not. You're incorrect. You're wrong. Get out.
For like sentimental purposes, maybe.
The Cleveland Sacramento Utah trade, in my opinion, is definitely the best trade that happened. Cleveland got so much, and they dumped off so much. They finally got rid of Iman Shumpert after like 3 years of trying to trade this dude.
Someone had to finally take him.
Yeah, someone finally had to do it. I think that's the big trade for me. Blake Griffin, close second, because I love me some Blake, but.
So personally, I liked the Isaiah Thomas, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance trade, mainly because I've always had a special place in my heart for IT, and to get him out of Cleveland was good, I think, for both Cleveland and him. See him go somewhere like LA, where I think he'll thrive better, is good. And it helped both teams. I think Cleveland got maybe a little better, and Lakers are opening up a spot to try to become a premier team in the West again. As for the Celtics staying pat, I think that's just a chess move by Danny Ainge, where he's like, I'm going to let everyone else make their moves. We're going to wait till buyout time. We're going to pick up some veterans at buyout time. Joe Johnson being a potential one that I've heard in a lot of rumors. I don't think there's a move they need to make. They picked up Greg Monroe, which I love because obviously they need another big. But I personally wasn't a fan of the Tyreek Evans rumors. I didn't want them to make a trade for him, and I'm glad they didn't, because they don't need another guard. They just don't. And that's what Lou Williams, they don't need another guard. So I think they're just going to wait till buyout time and let everyone else make the moves.
All right, we'll see. Mario, where you at?
I said it before. Brian, I'm going to say it again. Dwayne Wade going back home to Miami. It's a feel-good trade. It's my personal favorite trade.
All right.
I mean, I guess if you're into dumb stuff.
Boom! It's a beautiful story.
Mario. Just describe Mario.
That's just
Dwayne Wade goes
yeah,
home.
that's horrible. That's horrible.
Mario, you've never been the sentimental type. Don't start now.
Oh, I'm starting now.
Nah. Get out.
There's no need. There's no need to start now.
You merely adapted the sentiment. I was born in it, molded by it.
If you were born in and molded by it, you would have picked this pick.
Do you have a Dwayne Wade jersey, Mario?
No.
Look, let's get back on topic. The next thing. You're the GM of your teams, right? So I'm the GM of the Cavs. Mario, you're the GM of the Heat, apparently, because you just love them so much. Cody, you're the GM of the Boston Celtics. Bryant, honestly, who's your GM?
Them Timberwolves right now, bro. Hype train, bandwagon. What up? Back on it.
All right, cool. Give me one trade if you were the GM that you would have made, or that you would have pursued. Now, this can't be, oh yeah, I'm a forced trade for LeBron. This has to be a legit. It could have happened.
I would have tried to move Andrew Wiggins and tried to get Kawhi.
Ooh,
Wow.
I never thought of that. That's a good one.
Yep.
I think that
Exactly
puts
what-
them way over the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Like literally Andrew Wiggins is like the same sort of size and build as Kawhi, except way worse. Except not nearly as good.
The build up to just be like, nah, he's
Yeah,
though.
yeah, he bad. He booty.
He booty.
Nah, he ain't booty. He good, but he's not Kawhi.
I mean, when he was coming out of college, they were saying this is the type of person you draft to get over LeBron.
and like lockdown defense and everything, and he just doesn't play deep.
He's a third string on that team.
Yeah.
So okay, I like that GM. Cody?
For any team.
No, your team. You're the Celtics.
If I'm Danny Ainge, what trade do I make?
Yeah, what trade do you make? It has to be plausible though.
It has to be plausible. It has to be plausible? I don't know.
I mean, we'll tell you if it's plausible. Don't worry.
Yeah, throw it at us.
Oh, yes, because your guys' opinion is what makes it.
All right, so we move Marcus Morris, and we get DeAndre Jordan. Easy, plausible.
Plausible.
Throw in some
Realist-
cash considerations. That's a trade.
Yeah, some cash considerations, maybe a second-round pick. I could see it. No, I don't know if DeAndre Jordan is the guy, but it's definitely a big. And I don't know if I can think of anyone specifically, but it would definitely have to be like a power forward or a center. And I think, yeah, Marcus Morris could definitely be a part of that deal. Maybe a second-round pick.
Do you move Gordon Hayward?
I would not move Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, because you just got his jersey, little chump.
I got his jersey as a Christmas gift. Yes.
What are you
But
thinking about?
they haven't seen
after-
anything from. How do you showcase a guy who just went through a serious ankle injury? You got to showcase him before you get rid of him.
Yo, you can showcase the first 5 minutes of the NBA season.
Oh, that's
That's too soon. But
Oh,
no, I don't think trade
I
Gordon
don't think
Hayward.
it's too soon.
A lot of people have talked about trading Marcus Smart. I don't like that either because he is the Celtics' best defender. So yeah, I think Marcus
not
Morris
worth it.
is the guy you're looking at. Maybe Aaron Baines as well could move in a trade.
Mhm.
No.
All right. Those aren't really hot commodities. I don't think any great trades would happen. Moving on to the best GM, Pat Riley's right-hand man, Mario, the legend, Adamo.
Or are you in D'Antoni's system? Do you want the Rockets or do you want the Heat?
Which bandwagon are you on, Mario?
Yeah. Who do you care about today, Mario? True fan.
Oh my goodness.
Super fan. Here we go.
Super. What do you do? Honestly, if I'm the Heat, I don't make any move. I love the roster. They just know that it's like, why even compete? You're in the East and LeBron's still playing. So like, we're just coasting. We're just chilling. We're young. We're only going to get better. And then when LeBron's gone, then we'll give a shit. So I can only make that move when LeBron leaves.
All right. So
Yeah, I mean, they have an all-star point guard, I guess. They have
They have an all-star point guard. Hassan Whiteside is tall.
They have a solid center. They'll have a good good quality rotation players.
Udonis Haslam. He's still around.
Yeah, he's
Still
still the
around,
heart
God
of that
bless him.
bench.
Is he really?
Yeah, dude. He's still a bench warmer way there at the end.
Wow.
Udonis Haslam
It's all
quoted
heart though.
quoted as saying when
all
Dwayne
heart.
Wade was coming back, "Yeah, I guess I can share my city again."
I don't know. I
Oh,
think
man.
Whiteside's been mentioned in some. He was mentioned in some trade rumors, so he could move in the offseason.
Really?
I had heard his name in a few trade rumors. He's a big name to move, though.
Personally, if I'm the Cleveland Cavaliers and I could make any trade that makes sense, and I'm gonna throw in a little caveat that LeBron would trade his trade thing.
There's no trade clause.
There's no trade cost. Okay.
He won't.
Look, this is why it's a
What are you
hypothetical.
doing?
This is
What are you
I'm
doing?
This is what I'm doing. Let me tell you. You ready? You ready?
I'm listening.
I do the deal that they made in reverse. I send LeBron to the Lakers, and in return, I pick up Larry Nance Jr., Clarkson, Brandon Ingram. If I needed to, I'd throw in the first round pick, but I'd send LeBron over there, get those three players. I think that makes the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, once LeBron leaves, they're never going to win anything. Let's be serious. So it doesn't really matter. LeBron's gonna go there anyway. Send him there now. Send them there now so that the super team can form in the summer. Paul George will go there. That's what I would do if I was a GM.
That's what you do if you're the GM of the Cavaliers. You trade away LeBron.
I don't like him.
Plausible.
I don't like.
This is why you
Not
will
plausible. Not plausible.
How is that not possible? I feel like the math works out.
Because he has a no trade clause. Because he has a no trade clause.
The thing. What did I say when I first started? I said let's say
clause.
waive it. I said he'd waive it. I said
That's not plausible. That's not plausible.
It is plausible.
LeBron's not gonna get rid of his no trade clause because he's gonna sign for the max in the summer. He will never waive that no trade clause. Never. He won't.
So talking about a fictional person, aka Ostrovsky, Mario's 2K character, is more plausible than LeBron waiving his no trade clause from a contending championship team right now to going to a team that's struggling to get the 8th seed in the West.
All right, Draymond for LeBron.
Halfway through the season.
Draymond for LeBron. Draymond for LeBron.
He has a no trade clause.
Draymond for LeBron.
I don't know. He might waive it for
LeBron
that.
though.
He
The
might
league
waive it.
wouldn't allow that to happen. The league would
Maybe
shut
the league
that
wouldn't allow
down immediately.
I'm just saying though, he would probably waive his no trade clause.
All right, I'm changing mine to Draymond for LeBron.
You wouldn't do that as the GM of the Cavs. If you
feel like
said
you
you're
would,
the
though.
GM of the Warriors, sure, you can attempt that.
You can try.
Commissioner wouldn't allow it.
College. Do you think that Cleveland just gets like letters and emails and stuff every day, all day? Just be like, bro, what do I need to give you for LeBron? Like just all the teams around the league, just like constantly all the time.
I don't think so.
What if we throw in like a little Chick-fil-A? Huh?
I love Chick-fil-A.
Will you do it then?
Love Chick-fil-A.
Yo, Dan Gilbert probably tries to get bribed all the time for what he'll give up for LeBron.
Absolutely.
He's closed many a business deal on saying that.
Y'all try to get LeBron over to Utah, man. Just give me that Rocky Mountain High.
Yo, send him to the Kings where he can become a true Sacramento Kings star LeBron James.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for our trade deadline Cleveland Fire Sale special edition episode of the FanCast podcast. I'm your host, Neff Daniel. It was great chilling with you all. As always, I was with the guys, Cody. Nobody can see you waving your hands, Cody.
Nobody can see you
I
waving.
didn't know you were signing off. I thought
Oh my god!
I didn't know what I was supposed to say. What do you?
What you always say?
Say
Peter.
goodbye. Just say
Like-
goodbye. Who's next?
You're next. You're next,
Oh.
Mario. Say goodbye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to this special edition where we talk about not the draft, we talk about trades.
All right, Bryant.
So long, farewell, Avitas, and goodbye. Hey, this was Bryant.
That's
good.
Guys,
It's
don't
your-
forget
it's your
to
boy.
like and share.
Follow me,
Give us your feedback.
FanCast_Bryant at Instagram.
It's
I post hot stuff all the time. I'm your
slide
boy,
into those DMs.
the world's leader in Instagram posts.
And then, of course, the man, the myth, the legend behind the scenes, Rezo.
Well, yeah, the myth, because I didn't say one word during this entire ordeal. But speaking of social media, definitely follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram. We are active, and we are hungry for your feedback.
What are the handles there, Nate? Are they all the same?
They're at FanCast Sports.
Bang!
Thank you.
FanCast Sports.